Welcome to episode 104 of the Reptile Gumbo podcast. We had a week off, kind of ish.
I slept.
Yes, we had a 4-day weekend. Well,
I did not sleep on our 4-day weekend though.
No, but we had school on Friday, but there were no kids, so that's an off day.
I was in a workshop all day,
and then we had 3 days off, and our kid was like 5 states away. So,
Joe was gone this weekend.
She was in West Virginia visiting family.
Oh, she fly out there?
Yeah, she went with my mom.
And boy, are her arms tired.
Yeah, I bet. All that flapping.
Yeah, she got a little sick on the landing though when they got back.
She forgot to take her mask off.
I felt so bad.
Yeah,
gross.
But so prior to our week off, we took it. Well, let's go ahead and do our sponsors, then we'll get into that.
Yes. Are you looking for a high quality PVC rack? Look no further than Lone Star Reptile Racks. They offer a variety of I lost it. Hold on. I'm so sorry.
You had all this time to get ready for it.
I totally forgot that I had to do this.
Again, this is why I don't record this.
Oh, damn it.
Fucking hilarious.
I'm trying to book our Airbnb for Corpus. If you are looking for a high quality PVC rack or cage, look no further than Lone Star Reptile Racks. They offer a variety of sizes for all types of snakes, geckos, rats, and more.
Geckos.
You can even order something custom. My eyes shifted when I was reading that line and I totally lost the spot. Shipping is available, or you can plan to pick up at a Herps Reptile show near you. Visit lsreptileracks.com to reach out to Lone Star Reptile Racks today and place your order for racks or cages. And he will be in Corpus this weekend for the Herps Reptile Show.
And I will be the only PVC vendor there.
So come get your cages, your racks, hand job. I mean,
whatever. At this point, I'll sell anything.
As Andy Hines says, $20 is $20.
I'll have an assortment of racks. I'll have some 4x2x1 cages, some with acrylic and some with glass.
Ooh, glass.
Yeah, picking it up Thursday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's the pickup between 7 and 7:30.
Yuck.
Yeah, an hour from here. So
even more yuck.
Yes, and then I'll have a couple of 2x2x2 cubes
for all those green tree python people.
I'll have some 2x1.5x1s, like small.
Oh yeah. Is that like a GFE size?
No, John Grant will have a bunch of GFEs. I'm bringing him like 10 of them.
Those are a great beginner cage too. If anybody's looking for a good beginner cage for like a corn snake, king snake.
And I think I'll have 1 or 2 3x2x1s.
And it'll be the prices though. I'm telling you folks, the prices will be good.
Yeah.
Come get you a cage.
Yeah, it basically works out to $100 a foot.
It's not bad.
It's kind of how they work out.
Yeah.
Except the 2x2, it's a little more because it's.
And you don't have to wait 9 months to get a cage in the mail.
Yeah.
And then put it together yourself with certain other people.
Yep.
Also, speaking about Herps Reptile Show, so there is the Corpus Christi show, February 26th and 27th, New Orleans, March 5th and 6th, and then Bryan College Station, March 12th and 13th, and then there's April. April 2nd and 3rd is Slidell, Louisiana. April 9th and 10th is Beaumont, Texas. April 16th and 17th is Temple, Texas, and April 23rd and 24th is Austin, Texas. That is 4 weekends in a row.
I have not 8 shows in the next 9 weeks.
That's true. You also have a shirt show in there.
Well, then Casey yesterday, Andy's brother, was telling me they have 10 shows in a row.
Oof.
Starting this coming weekend.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
But you can make money.
I hope so.
And money is good.
Because if I don't make money in this run, we're probably done.
Nah, everybody go buy a cage. Also, Wiregrass Exotics, who's in the chat. How's it going, guys? Go visit the Ruas over at Wiregrass Exotics in Ozark, Alabama. If you're anywhere near South Alabama, not North Texas, that's way far away. North Florida, South Georgia, go visit. Tell them I sent you, and you'll get nothing off, actually. It's going to cost you the same price. But you should still go see them.
You definitely should.
We should, but it's so far away.
Yeah. So Rachel and I decided that sometime this summer,
you're going to take a tour?
We're just going to fucking get in the truck and leave. Me and her and Logan and the dog.
I'm glad you said Logan. I thought you were just like, okay, we're just going to leave the kid. We're going. We're just going. We're leaving. We're not coming back.
I don't know where. I don't know which direction. We're not even going to plan before we go. We're just going to go. We might end up in Ozark, Alabama. We might end up in Yellowstone National Park.
Cool.
But we're going to take 7 or 10 days and I haven't had a vacation in I mean, 2.5, 3 years.
Time for one.
My wife is going on 2 cruises in the next 2 months.
Yeah.
So
That still blows my mind.
free cruises.
Yeah.
Free. Give it like a friend of ours' husband ended up not being able to get off work. So she's going on that one. And then the other one, her mom has 3 cruises in like 2 months that she won at the casinos. And her dad can only go on 2 of them. So she's taking Rachel on one of them.
That's crazy. I mean, it must be nice.
Have fun. But one of those is shirts. That's why you're going with me to shirts.
That's the Lone Star.
Yeah, Lone Star Reptile Expos.
Yeah. So in the San Antonio area, it's north of San Antonio, right?
Yeah. It's kind of. It's northeast of San Antonio.
Yeah. It feels like you're in fucking nowhere, but you're like a stone's throw from San Antonio.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's another show in May. The only show I have in May. That's what's gonna be crazy is we're gonna do 8 shows the next 9 weeks, then nothing for 4 weeks.
So get time to sell, and then make.
Yep. And then that show in May, Rachel will be gone for that one too, but it's local.
Where is it?
It's here. It's local.
Oh, okay. I'll come by. My dad's coming in May, so I don't know what we'll be doing. He's gonna ride his motorcycle down from Virginia.
Cool. Probably go fishing at some point.
If I can get my kayaks over here. They're still sitting in Louisiana. Hopefully they don't get taken off.
We can bring them back at Easter.
Like a tornado.
Hopefully that tornado that's there tonight doesn't take them off.
Yikes.
Yeah. Are y'all going over there for Easter?
I will be.
Yeah, but
I don't know if James is coming with me.
Problem is
or
we got to
not.
like organize our garage so they fit in the garage.
Yeah. But that's not till the middle of April.
Because we have a lot of shit.
Yeah.
By a lot, I mean we have way too much shit. There's a whole garage full.
That's not what this podcast is about. Let's get
Too
back
much
on
shit?
task.
Anyways,
Were you able to book that?
Yeah, I'm fixing to send you the address. It's
Okay.
done.
cool.
I'm going to go cancel the hotel that I booked just in case.
So we were off-ish last week. The weekend before we went to NARBC Arlington, which was Robert's first big reptile show.
And I really enjoyed it.
It was fun.
I had a good time. My wife's basically a celebrity now.
She was owning that shit.
I had
too.
to
It was
introduce
great.
myself to Justin Kabilka as Rachel's husband
I love
because he had no
that.
fuck clue who I was until I said I'm Rachel's husband. Oh, okay.
Which is funny because we were on a podcast with him,
Yeah.
and I'm sure he doesn't remember us at all.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
But yeah, it was a good time. We, the auction was a lot of fun. I was pretty well wiped out by the time the auction got there.
Yeah.
And after 2 hours of being in there so loud, I finally just had to go downstairs. And then we ate the worst hibachi to exist in the world.
Okay, so when we pulled up, I didn't want to say anything, but I was thinking this is not going to be good.
I know.
And it was not fucking good.
It should have been a clue, and everything else in Arlington was a 2-hour wait. And they were like, come on down.
It was bad.
It was
bad. We did not get food poisoning, so I guess it could have been worse.
Yeah.
We did not shit ourselves the next day, but
No.
it was definitely not worth what we paid for hibachi.
No, mine was like $65 for 2 of us.
Mine was way too much for one of me.
Yeah. Well, you had sushi too.
But it was only like $4 for the sushi.
Oh, really? Yeah. When the guy came out and dumped frozen vegetables on the thing,
Or frozen like chopped little vegetables.
No.
Yeah.
he
Oh, yeah.
did the onion volcano
At the end,
at the end.
after we got the food,
We were done eating. We were eating and then threw it away.
He wasted it.
Yeah.
he also burnt the
Unacceptable.
egg. He cracked the egg and then realized and then dropped something, and so he went to get it and left the egg on there. Came back and then chopped up this overly fried egg.
Well, I mean, you loved it since you hate runny egg.
Well, it wasn't mine. It was
Well,
their
Oh,
rice.
that
And then,
day.
He that was the only part of like the show that he did was the onion volcano. And he didn't set it on fire and he didn't do the choo-choo or any of that stuff.
Good train
just-
whistle.
He just dumped the stuff in it and
So Darren says $4 sushi should have been a red flag. The sushi actually was not bad.
Yeah.
That was actually decent. But the hibachi was, and also when they brought us, was it miso soup that had, it was just water. It was salty water.
It was fucking hot water. I think they splashed a little soy sauce in it.
That was, I mean, I ate it because I paid for it. I did not eat the nasty ass salad that came with it, but I did eat the,
I have
bowl
only
of
seen
water.
James. No, I take that back. That was not James.
what?
I've never seen James not eat or drink something that either a family member has paid for or he has paid for. Because I was going to say, I saw him turn down a drink one time, But no,
No, I got shit faced because I didn't
you,
drink.
you told your dad you just paid $10 for that. I'm gonna
$10
drink
for
it.
a shot of absinthe, and I was like, "Well, we're not going to waste $10 on that," because he was like, "This tastes horrible." I was like, "I agree, but we bought 2 of them, so I drank both of them."
Yeah, it was.
Just kidding.
It was an adventure. Then he cooked. He dumped a fucking giant pile of mushrooms out,
Yeah, an entire forest of mushrooms.
and nobody wanted them.
Yeah.
I think Rachel took like a little bit, and then he was like,
Oh.
"Okay."
I
throw 'em
wouldn't
all
have
away.
eaten any. I don't
Yeah,
like
I
mushrooms.
was like, "Where's Robbie?"
Yeah.
No, Sean,
You don't
this
shoot
was
that.
absinthe, but it wasn't like, I don't know. It wasn't absinthe. It wasn't glowing, and I didn't see little green men. But it was basically just like licorice. It tastes like licorice, and I
Was
fucking
it a-
hate licorice.
Was at a bar in New Orleans.
At one of the bars.
I held up a wall outside that bar.
No, you've slept next to a wall outside the
No.
bar.
I held it up.
But anyway, so back to that. So we got there. You got there Friday to Arlington. So let's recap Arlington. You got there Friday. You hung out while they set up. And so let's go with while we were there. Anyone that's listened to our last episode knows that Michael Pinnell from Python and a Pear Tree, Jason Brumley from Jason. I'm gonna mess up. My brain's been blank. I know it's Brumley.
Brumley Reptiles.
I think
He'll tell us. He's in here.
he will. He'll tell us because and then Norm over at Royal Flush Exotics. I got that one. But they hosted us. We were set up behind their booth, and we did several interviews. It was a lot of fun hanging out with them. I love Michael Pinnell. He's one of my favorite people on earth. Jason said, "Close enough."
Jeez.
Look, just search green tree pythons and Jason Brumley. You'll find him. He's got green trees. He's got really nice green tree pythons, and then he's got ball pythons like every other freaking. So, first off, don't let anyone tell you that Arlington is not a ball python show. It 100% is. Don't. Now, with that said, there was some other cool stuff, and we'll
Sure.
talk about some of the cool things we saw in a minute. But it was definitely 90% ball python.
Maybe
80%.
75%.
I was gonna go
There was some cool
75.
shit there.
Let's go with
There
let's go with there were ball pythons on at least 80%
But
of the tables.
There's not a lot of vendors.
There's
So,
not, but it's big vendors.
Right.
Bob Vu's there,
Right.
and
yeah,
like the-
I mean,
Kabilka's there.
I guess if you went off number of animals, maybe, but I'm thinking of like, Halescales next to us, and they're 90% not ball pythons.
Yeah, but
The guy across from them, the guy with all the big tortoises.
like I said, I would say 80 to 85% of the tables had a ball python on it.
Yeah, I would say that. And
Wow.
then, we saw some cool stuff. Universal Rock had some cool stuff there.
They were there.
Well, they weren't there.
They had someone there with
someone
it.
there doing their stuff. And, I got to meet Brian, the owner of ARS, finally face to face. Spent hours on the phone with him and
Yeah.
finally got to meet him face to face and learn that they got some cool stuff coming.
Some new tubs coming there.
Yeah, I'm not sure we could talk about it. He was
Well,
displaying them at the show.
He had them on the table at the show.
He's actually going to have a baby tub that'll be like an FB5 or a V15.
Yeah.
And it will be made out of high impact polystyrene. So they're lightweight, they're less breakable,
Cost effective.
and they're going to be less expensive.
So he was there. There were some things we got to, and people. I think it's on the next episode we're going to put out. We got to sit down with Brett Bender, and Brett Bender had some really cool stuff on his table. And now I want a lizard that I didn't think I wanted before.
Me too.
I want Kimberly rock
Me
monitors.
too. Those are fucking so cool, man.
Oh, little tiny like Goanna monitor. It looks like Australia, and it's only gets like 2.5 feet.
And half of that's tail, he said.
Yeah, those were awesome. He had some beautiful diamond pythons on his table. So there were some people that had some cool stuff, and then we were behind the table with Michael, who had really great carpet pythons. Although he sold all of his house snakes, all the carpet pythons, and sold every house snake he brought.
Yep.
And then what are the aldabras there? The big old aldabras that were there.
There was a lot of aldabras there.
There was a shipment I think that has come in recently.
Matt had a bunch.
And the table across from him had a bunch.
And
then, yeah, I think a shipment of aldabras has come in recently, and that's why everybody has them now. But if you want an aldabra, you can probably find one right now because they are out there.
Oh yeah.
There were 2 insanely obese Dumerals
Yeah.
that needed to take a little diet.
Yeah, it's easy to do with Dumerals though.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else was there. There was some cool setups. That one table that was set up was like a stage, like a rock stage with all the uprights and lights and all that was really cool looking.
Yep. There was a guy in the back that had a big male blue beauty.
Oh, I never missed that one.
There was a
He-
Baja blue rock lizard.
Yep.
I took a picture
Oh,
of
the
it because I'm
picture's
like, ooh, I want one.
He just had them in a tub behind the table. He wasn't selling them.
There was a giant black throat that was back there on the back.
That's the same guy.
Same guy.
Same guy had that one. And but he's like, Rachel was like, "What, do you want to get him out?" And he was like, "Only if you want to get bit." She was like, "Yeah, mine's like that sometimes too." But she had banded out a couple days ago, and he was
He was good.
until I walked in the room. He was fine. I walked in the room and he
Sad day.
starts hissing and bluffing and flaring his head out. I'm like, fuck, man, I'll leave.
Friend of the show, Adeline Robinson, was there.
Mm-hmm.
Her painting went for the best price of anything at the auction.
What, $7,500?
$7,500
Yeah.
to Timberline, the guy from Timberline, I think.
Yeah, I
is the
think
one.
so. Him and Chris from Sea Serpents were going
We're
back,
going and forth on that. Yeah,
pretty much on everything. It was hard to
him,
keep
Chris,
up.
and Bob Vu.
Yeah.
That was. Everyone else was there to watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great show. I definitely think you should go to it. Even if people, like I said, it's a lot of ball pythons, but there were a lot of things that weren't ball python there. You just had to find them, and they were definitely there. We got to see Ryan McVeigh. My
Fucking Sean. Sean shared this in the group and said the Reptile Gumbo podcast, where you can listen to James talk over everyone, watch Robert browse the internet, and watch Katie grade students' papers.
I'm actually not grading any papers tonight. I'm doing a training.
fuck off, Sean.
Thank you very much.
Speaking of Sean, everybody go by the Herbst Reptile Shop in Bryan
College Station.
Oh,
Yep.
Brian.
College? I thought it was in College Station.
No, it's
in
for Brian.
Oh, just
The
kidding.
college is in College Station.
No.
Yeah.
The shop is in Bryan.
Cool.
Cool. Fuck you, Sean. Oh, we got to see Ryan McVeigh, which he had the new dimmable lights, the new dimmable LEDs.
Those were so cool.
Those are awesome. So anybody that's wanting to
Speaking
really,
of lights, I had a moment of panic today.
speaking of people talking over people,
Yeah. Well, you do it all the time. So I walked into my classroom and there was no light on my bearded dragon. And I panicked because I'm like, I just got the VivTech light. There's no way it's burned out. And then I was like, maybe somebody unplugged it or turned it off or whatever. Totally was not the VivTech light. It was the halogen bulb that we had for heat.
oh, the little mini halogen.
It went out, but she has other heat on her. So that was mostly just used for like
The VivTech light's still working.
VivTech light is going strong. Yes. It was just across the room. I was used to having the yellow light glow,
Oh yeah,
and the VivTech light that I have was not.
Yeah.
So yeah, perfect.
yes. But
It's going
the for anybody that's wanting to do some, we could do some really cool things with the new VivTech lights. If you have a proportional thermostat like a Herbstat, which have the ramp up and ramp down features on timers, you can really do a sunrise and a sunset with those lights. You can ramp up that light, or you could do what some people have been doing. You ramp it up for 15 20 minutes here and then take it back down, and then 15 20 minutes later in the day and take it back down. There's a lot of stuff you can do with that, with being able to do those dimmable LED UVB bulbs. So that's really awesome. Check those out at VivTech. That was impressive. And I'm trying to think what else I saw there. There was a lot of stuff. It stayed busy, especially Saturday. Stayed pretty busy.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to, I really enjoyed getting to do the interviews at the show.
Yeah, I did too. And I think people enjoyed listening to them too.
Yeah. Anybody listen to this, let us know if that's what you like. Because I'm thinking I want to do that more.
Yeah.
Set up, get an actual booth set up and plan it out a little better and have people come in and do interviews. And I kind of have an idea for a couple things. I want to do like what we just did, where we do 30-minute or so interviews, put 4 of them together for an episode, put that out one week. But I'd also like to do like little 10-minute interviews, maybe like quick questions that we ask somebody, and then we pop that into an episode like this, maybe on the audio version, maybe not the live, but the recorded.
I noticed that Dave Coffin was interviewing just random people.
Yeah. He does that. He does that a lot. And I think I want to try and pull some people in, which is much easier once we have our own booth. It was a tight fit. Speaking of tight fit, the couch.
It was a great idea.
It was a great idea. And there's a
Yeah, except that Brittany Gobble almost sent me flying into the rafters. Shit.
so
Wait, I made it all
Could
weekend.
you imagine had it been someone big?
I would have
She's
been
tiny.
screwed.
If I would have flopped down on that, Katie would have been.
I was not
You
ready.
think Brandon was mad because we almost knocked his sign over? Shit.
Oh my
she
god!
got over and landed on the table.
Yeah. I was already sitting on the couch and I went to get up so I could tell her we could sit down at the same time together. And before I could get words out on mouth, she just plopped right on down next to the couch and bless her.
So it was, for people that listen,
I
it was an inflatable couch, like something you would find in a dorm room. And I'm not gonna lie, I think when we do these things in the future, I'm gonna try and get that couch from them just to set it up for people to hang out.
Oh no, they're keeping that couch. That's gonna like be the new thing at
Yeah.
their
Oh, is it?
in their booth.
Well, then
You'll have to get your own couch.
We gotta get our own. No, there's Norm says the couch was comfortable. My daughter sat
Oh
on
my
it all the
gosh, she hung out. Like she was not happy when we
She
had
was
to
like-
kick her off.
She
the
was like,
couch.
when we left, she goes, "We need to get one of these." I'm like, "For fucking who?" She's like, "We should have one at the house." No,
you
we
have a
shouldn't.
futon. We have a futon that is for her.
That we don't have to reinflate. But yeah, so the couch was interesting. So if you're listening to some of the interview, you may hear we had a system for getting people up off the couch.
We
It
did.
was definitely a 2-man thing to try and get someone off the couch. It was interesting. But speaking of folks, we got to talk there. The episode that just went out. Make sure I've got my notes here. So I want to make sure I remember who I put in it. There's the intro that was with Michael Pinnell, and then we did, which I was super excited. On Sunday, we got to sit down with Phil Goss, and
Really interesting.
we sat down with him for like 45 minutes to talk to him. That was great. That's on the most recent
That's because
podcast.
he didn't want to leave.
That's true.
I felt so bad
He did not want to go back.
because
He
like
was like,
20
nope, this
minutes
is a nice
in,
break.
yeah, 20 minutes in, I was like, okay, guys, we got to wrap this up. Like, I'm sure Phil has a lot to do. And he's like, no, we do not. We can keep on going. And I was like, okay, I was not at all trying to run you off. I just felt bad because I'm sure you're needed at your table. And he did not care.
That was we had a great conversation with him, and we got to talk about all the new
It
LACX
was.
stuff and really talk about some of the issues that are coming up with that. I strongly suggest people go listen to at least the Phil Goss. I suggest you listen to everybody, but the Phil Goss episode, our interview was great. And then we sat down with Norman Barrett, who was there from Royal Flush Exotics, and we got to talk about that. We kind of got depressing in some of the stuff.
I say it gets deep. We had,
But it was good.
It was
but
good.
it's good to go there.
I
Every
think it's
now
stuff
and then.
people need to hear. Like I say, but there's a lot of things that people don't talk about in the hobby that I think people need to talk about in the hobby. We talked about, making sure you prepare for the worst. And if you listen to the episode, Norm talks about his time going through the worst, but he's doing much better now. And he looked great this weekend, this past 2 weekends ago. And then on that same one, I'm trying to think who the third one was. I think the third one may have been Casey Cannon. I think Casey Cannon was the fourth one on there, which was great talking to Casey. We got to get him on here at some point and talk to him more.
Yeah.
Get into some real Brettles talks, because we're going to get Robert a Brettles and Rachel playing
Kimberly
Rock Monitor. My God. I think I maybe, never mind. We're not going to joke. I could, but we'll see. So, I want to do more shows. I'm going to try and get some sponsors so we can afford to do the shows, because obviously we're not selling anything. It's just a free podcast. Maybe I can get some sponsors to cover a booth or something. We'll get a banner. People come by, hang out, pop on the podcast. But I was like talking about doing like little 10-minute segments to throw into these podcasts as well. So let us know what y'all think about those. We had a blast to get to go around and talk to people, and we didn't have to. And Robert didn't have to sell anything all weekend, so he enjoyed that. So, and it snowed. We talked about it on the podcast, but it's Saturday morning. It fucking snowed.
Yeah. And none of us were prepared for that.
No one.
No.
Saturday was cold as hell.
James and I
My
did
toes
take a
were
couple-
cold.
I did have a couple people pick some stuff up from me there. And there was one point when James and I were out there waiting on somebody. We were like huddled in front of the trailer trying to get out of the wind.
The wind. And
It really wasn't miserable until the wind blew.
Yeah. Sunday was great.
Sunday was good.
Mhm.
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought the 2 days were back to back. Like, it was weird.
Yeah. Well, it's Texas.
Welcome to
It was
Texas.
But
I had a kid ask me today, how come there's mosquitoes outside? I said, baby, we live in Texas. You just gonna have to get used to that.
Yep.
so that was Arlington. Sunday we left, came home, and
Our
watched
child
football.
had a great time. It was her first big reptile show too.
Oh, that's true. That was our
She
first one.
walked around. I made a loop with her, and she goes, "We know a lot of people here."
hmm
We say big. I mean,
There are a
Conroe
lot
may,
of Herps family.
Conroe may be the same number of
You're right.
vendors.
Yeah. You also live in Illinois, where that's, a normal
Ryan
day.
McVeigh. Yes, Ryan, it was cold. Shut the hell up.
Yeah. Because I commented on how white Ryan's legs are.
Yeah, we don't live in the frozen north. We live down here where it's not supposed to snow.
Yeah.
Although down here where everybody is now shell shocked whenever it drops below freezing because they're afraid that
Last year.
But after it rains, excuse me, I had to yawn. After it rains on Wednesday, Thursday, you're supposed to drop back down to the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
shut your face.
I'm just telling you, it's coming back.
Ugh. But so that was Arlington. It was great. Our next show is Corpus Christi. I thought about coming and setting up, but I'm not gonna set this up. Maybe I'll talk to someone that
I
Is it-
have plenty of room if you want to.
I was just thinking there's someone that runs the Herps Reptile shows that maybe in the future we could try and get a booth and do stuff with them.
I'm sure we could.
Anyways,
I mean, I've met him before.
I don't know.
Heard he's
Y'all
a
may be doing that on your own. I'll be up front working.
I've heard he's a dick.
Boss lady keeps sticking me at the front
Literally
register.
one of the best people I know.
That is true.
He's only a dick to you, James, because you totally deserve it.
I've said it before. This hobby has allowed me to meet some of the best people that I ever would have met. Ron
Absolutely.
McVeigh, a great person. It was funny. Joe walked around Saturday when we first got there, and she told Katie, she's like, "I know a lot of people here," and it was a lot of our herp show family was visiting that. Obviously, it's in Texas, and so yeah, it's really great. It's a great community. So we'll get to talking about this in a second about the Lacey Act. I really don't want it to ruin our community, which is what I'm really afraid of. So I want to go to our question for this week. It needs to be brought up every show, everyone right now. It's a big push. I know people might be getting tired about hearing about it, but if we don't talk about it,
it's when they're getting tired about it.
Yeah,
they need to hear more about it.
Yeah, the other part, Darren says, I was at my local pet store today and they didn't know about what was going on with legislation. That's dangerous because that's
dangerous.
That's their livelihood, because that includes their hamsters, their fish, everything, the reptiles they're selling there. So that's everything.
Yep.
So the question I asked today was, if the new legislation were to pass, how would that change the hobby for you? And would it change your collection? And there were some very good answers. And so I want to go through those. Oh, before we get into that, some other people that you'll hear on the next podcast coming out. You'll get to hear from John Feely.
Yep. Who
is in the chat all the time. I think he was in here a second ago, but that was fun. Good to hear from John.
Yeah.
Tracy, T-shirt Tracy.
Don't forget to edit out that part.
Yeah. No. T-shirt Tracy. She's always in the chat.
Yeah. And we got a little, we talked about preparing for the worst with her too.
Yeah. The fires, which again has happened a lot to people that we know lately. Then Brittany Gobble, who is, if you're listening to the Reptile Gumbo Network, then the girls had them over on In Blue, had Brittany Gobble on. It came out this week on Thursday. So go listen to that. Listen to the girls talking to Brittany Gobble. And then I don't want to lie. Oh, then we had Brett Bender. We had Brett Bender on. Mm-hmm. And now I want Kimberly Rockmonders. I'm going to get Kimberly Rockmonders. I'm going to build an awesome cage and do Kimberly Rockmonders at some point. So let's go through some of these people who responded. Joe Smith. That is the most generic name you could ever get. I guess John Smith would be slightly more generic.
One of my favorite people that I graduated high school with was John Smith Jr. Thank you very much.
They made two of them. Joe Smith said, I would probably have to pull the trigger on a few species I'm saving for and get them now while I still could. And that's kind of shared sentiment in some of this here as we move down. Our buddy Jason Miloradovich said it would put me in an uncomfortable position of not being able to afford my collection. I breed on a small hobbyist scale, but I rely on what I make to go into bedding, supplies, and food. And I don't see it being sustainable if I was limited to selling he's in Colorado. But I also told him he needs to go ahead and hurry up and move to Texas, and then that won't be a problem. Just come on down here. But that is a serious concern for a lot of folks. A lot of folks do count on that money they get once a year from selling a litter here or there to help cover some rat costs for the year. Mm-hmm. It is a hobby that you may not be able to make a living off of for everybody. Some people do, but not everybody. But you can probably make a little bit to help cover some of your hobby. It's hard to say that about a lot of other things. Christian Parr said, my personal collection wouldn't change at all. Hopefully I could find the animals I would like to add in my state. However, I wouldn't breed anything unless it was to maintain my group of animals or help a local pet shop. Instead, I would focus more on my enclosures and try to make my house look like a reptile zoo with absolutely insane enclosures. I do think that if this does happen, and I'm hoping it doesn't, we're all hoping it doesn't, but I do think that cages will become a bigger thing.
Yeah.
You'll see people move away from racks because they will do more elaborate cages, because if they can't,
because they don't breeding as much.
Yeah, if they can't add, they can at least decorate.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Watson said, I plan on picking up a few animals in the next few months just in case. So Darren's in the chat. What kind of animals, Darren? Let us know. Drew Schultz would really be affected here. He said, it might not change immediately, but it would definitely be more difficult to find certain animals, especially as I'm trying to grow the bird and mammal side of our collection. And many of the bigger breeders of exotic birds are in Florida. I'd probably have a harder time finding buyers for animals we produce, but at the scale we breed, it wouldn't be catastrophic. The main thing that would be noticeable is all the people who will call our zoo trying to dump their bearded dragons because they're moving out of state.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
That is a big thing. People
I honestly think that your average person who has one bearded dragon won't even know that
it's against
the law, and they'll still just move.
And they probably won't get in trouble.
At that point, technically, they are a federal criminal.
Yeah.
It's got a minimum sentence, right? It's
I'm sure. I'm sure it's just a misdemeanor, but
I mean, you don't
still.
want to make little Susie, who's 6.
Right. You don't want to have the full weight of the federal government coming down
No.
on you.
Not at all.
For a leopard gecko.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or depending on if this passes, specific type of fish that you may own. It's not
Well,
just reptiles and amphibians. Your bird.
The way Phil explained it is the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service will have carte blanche with this whitelist.
yeah, the full autonomy to do whatever they want.
And they can say, oh, that fish could live in this body of water in Florida, so we're going to ban them in the whole U.S. Or this reptile or whatever. There's no oversight.
And it's really how Fish and Wildlife everywhere writes all their laws now.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked on here before about getting in trouble for selling a carpet python. That law is written in a way that can be taken 2 different ways.
Right.
Is it illegal to sell an animal that is over 8 foot? Is it illegal to sell an animal that could get over 8 foot? That's on that. Like it's the way those things are written so that they can use it.
Well, like the city of Houston is any animal that's capable of attaining 8 foot.
Yeah.
So a boa is technically considered to possibly get over 8 foot. So they're technically illegal in the city of Houston.
Crazy.
Like within the city limits?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, gotcha.
Which is crazy because you could do dwarf boa species that aren't going to get over 4.
Right.
But
Ryan McVeigh said, if you're tired of hearing about it, it's because you haven't done anything yet. So send an email, share the post, and understand the importance of this moment and everyone after. And he's right.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, we're starting to see less and less of it when you start sharing it more. I've been emailing just about every day. And I also yesterday printed out, I don't handwrite because my handwriting's terrible, but I wrote 2 physical letters, took them to the post office and sent one to John Cornyn and one to Ted Cruz.
Awesome.
I think you kind of saw, and it happens a lot sometimes in these auctions. Animals don't tend to go as much, but I think you saw some of that fear happen with the animals in the auction at Arlington.
Yeah, maybe.
You could see that with people walking around the show.
Well, a lot of the animals in the auction did not even go near what they were worth, especially the retics.
I think that's pretty normal in an auction, though.
But I just wonder if people were thinking, what am I going to do with a retic?
Yeah.
It's so ingrained in a lot of us.
monitor.
Yeah, it's so ingrained in a lot of us that big snakes are the first thing they come after. And so people are very weary about that. But this one's after everything. It's
like the guy that was bidding against Ryan for that water monitor and won and turned around and looked at me and goes, what did I just buy?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a Savannah monitor at home. Is that the same?
No.
Oh, Jesus.
It is not.
You bought an 8-foot monitor that needs a huge water feature and could eat your face.
Yes.
Cool. That was his reaction.
Norm said bio setups will be the future.
Yeah.
They're currently, but yes, they will definitely pick up if people can't add 20 snakes to their collection, can only add 4 from what they can find in their state. Those 4 snakes. And so that is that's a positive, I'm sure. But again, overall negative. Let me scroll real quick and I'll come back down on that. Darren Watson said we asked him what he was going to get: Sumatran short tail and some dart frogs and a few tarantulas. So I'm still torn on the dart frog thing. Although I had also on the Reptile Gumbo network, go check out Pint Size Reptile Podcast. Next week we'll be putting out an episode on glass frogs, which are not nearly as sensitive as I thought they were.
Really? Because you hear glass.
And they look so fragile in that little cup and see through and like, oh. But no, he says if you can keep a dart frog, you can keep a glass frog. So you want to read?
Yeah, Ryan said if they get the white list, every living thing not on the list is illegal. So zoos lose the ability to send any animal not on that list across state lines. Entire species survival plans in zoos just die.
Totally.
Overnight.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked at a zoo that's part of that. We ship animals to other states to breed.
Zoos aren't going to break the law like that because it could cost them too much.
No, so what you'll end up with is species survival plans will fail. You'll end up with more inbreeding happening in private facilities or even in regular zoos because that's the only animals they can get what's in state.
Because that's not just reptiles. That's if they don't put giraffes on the white list. If they don't put rhinoceros.
Again, when we talk to
pandas.
Phil, it's not just exotics in the mind of what people think exotics.
Oh, I guarantee you China will pull every panda out of this country.
I posted it in one of my hunting groups the other day, and guys were just like, "Ah, it'll never happen." You're
A deer's an exotic,
yeah,
right?
Well, not a whitetail.
But they hunt they have fallow deer. And
Plenty of exotic animals in Texas.
Yeah, that's all these high fence places that have exotic.
Yeah, a lot of that comes from out of state and overseas.
But then even like livestock, it says it continues livestock. That's horses and cows and some. But there are some exotic goats and chickens and stuff that would count as exotics if they don't add them to the white list. Again, little Susie with her gecko, also little Susie at the 4-H showing off her chickens
or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah.
She's now a criminal if she goes across state lines with that chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So, our friend Megan Slapabitch said we're inundated with post submissions 2 weeks ago in the herb group I'm on, and within the last week I've seen maybe 2. Definitely not something people want to start sleeping on. Just because you contacted your senators doesn't mean now you stop talking about it. Keep talking about it until you till people take action. So with that said, I was listening to I don't know why my brain just isn't working. I'm gonna have to look up the podcast. It's the entrepreneur,
reptile
entrepreneur. He was talking about it, and he's talking about, they're at recess right now, so they've gone back to their homes. This is the time to call, right? Because and we talked to Phil about this. They're at home. Your congressman and all, they're at their office, and then when they get back, also hit them up again.
Mm-hmm.
Remind them, look. So if you sent it 2 weeks ago, 2 more weeks from now, send them another one.
Yep. Well, and the reason I wrote letters is Phil told us, if you haven't listened yet, that they're hearing that the staffers are just glazing over the emails because they're getting thousands of emails.
Mm-hmm.
So handwritten letter, not handwritten, but an actual letter on paper or even a fax. They're asking people to do more of those. So I could do it, Megan. I can make you one. I'm not even Sablaco bitches.
Slap some bitches.
Slap some, yeah. Established 2013. That'd be fucking awesome.
You'll slap some bitches established.
She's joking, but I'll make it.
I was just thinking, I wonder if that word's too wide to put on a t-shirt.
But going back to some of these responses about how their collections would change. Robert, you commented on here. Do you want to read yours? You want me to read yours?
I'll do it. I mean, it would most likely decimate my business nearly overnight. I put that we do have a huge customer base in Texas, and it doesn't stop me. I didn't put this in there. It doesn't stop me from taking racks to Louisiana or wherever to sell them.
Yeah, you can still sell the racks and cages,
but I believe it would destroy the hobby as a whole, and people would not be buying my product because there wouldn't be a need for it, especially the racks. And we would most likely leave the reptile business altogether and pivot into a cabinet shop. Because I got to do something.
Yeah, cages and stuff would be hey, can you build me a cage? It wouldn't be, hey, go order this.
Yep. And let me take a picture of this so I can remember how to spell all that.
so you can make her sign for her front door.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's it's a little scary. It has been a very, very, very hard time to be a small business owner.
Just on inflation alone, on
the
stuff,
last 6 to 8 months, especially, and
then this hits a whole different business,
just completely different. This is just like another blow. I was thinking about it too, what it would do for like the herp shows, because none of the Texas vendors could go to Louisiana and take animals, or vice versa.
Yeah, and Louisiana would just have to be Louisiana. I mean, the Slidell show is a ton of Texas people in there, a ton of Mississippi, Alabama. So, I mean, that's
like we would never see Margie and Flavius again.
No,
Kevin and Monique, they live in Arkansas.
That's true.
So they're just across the state line.
Terry,
yeah,
in Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, we'd never. I mean,
so
and if you're someone who lives in like New Mexico where there are no reptile shows,
you're done.
You're done.
Yeah. That's a scary thought. It's because you may be like, oh, well, I can go to my pet store. Your pet store is not getting all their animals from in state. They're getting them from out of state. They're ordering them from a wholesaler or from breeders out of state. So, I mean, it's a scary thing. Chris Sexton said it wouldn't change too much. I would produce less ball pythons. I see a positive right there, Chris. Produce less ball pythons, and the collection would slim down a little. No need to keep projects for a rat bill revenue at that point, but I would still have most of my animals. Will McReady said, my collection is focused on North American native species for the most part, so I'm not exactly sure, but it would certainly put a kink in my plans to keep Bothrops and I'm assuming it's another venomous snake in the future. I don't know.
Bushmasters.
I don't know. I mean, how
Lachesis.
how would this
I
affect?
feel like an idiot. Somebody will correct us here.
How would this affect? I guess they're still counting a corn snake as an exotic, right?
I mean, it's an exotic to Texas. It doesn't live here. I mean, we have Slawinskis, but
So, could you take native stuff across state lines? I don't know.
if it's not on the white list, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Ryan can chime in. I haven't even thought about that because so little of what we do is native stuff.
Yeah, Will Jones says they're Bushmasters. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Jason said, "Quit picking on my fellow Oviches."
Yeah.
Dallas. There's another one. Dallas says it would destroy their business. Again, that's Wiregrass Exotics, their pet shop. If we're unable to ship animals in from out of state, we would have to sell through current inventory, and they only carry animals we could source in state or produce ourselves. So I don't imagine we would be open much longer after that. It's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Miguel Villa said, I'd still be keeping what I'm keeping, but acquiring some of the obscure stuff that I want would pretty much be impossible. And then Richard Valdez says, I'd quit breeding, which a lot of people would. I mean, I don't need 15 rainbow boas, you know? So yeah, I'd quit breeding those. And then how long before all the people that you were like, well, I'm not going to breed this year. I'm not going to breed next year. And that spreads to everybody else. And eventually, you know, we had a bunch of rainbow boas here, and then all of a sudden there's none. We can't get them anywhere. We had a bunch of whatever. We couldn't get them anywhere. So that is a serious issue that people need to take note of. Again, we're going to push it on every episode we have because it's a scary thing. Some of the other things. Oh, we watched a video before we came on here.
It's pretty damn interesting too.
I saw this. It was posted in our group. And it's funny because I was talking to Gonzo from Stop, I'll do it. Crafty Gargoyles. I got it.
I was like,
man.
what happened there, man?
I know. I'm just names. But at this point in the year, just names don't stick in my head. But we were talking on the way to Arlington. I called and we were talking about why do crested geckos lose their tail and not grow it back? And if anybody knows this answer, please send me the information you have, the scientific study, whatever. But it's a weird thing. They lose their tail, and then you have other geckos in that same area that lose their tails and they grow them back. So why is it the cresteds don't, especially since they're doing it to try and stay alive, and especially with cresteds being prehensile and they're using that tail to hold on to stuff. It's not just a useless tail. They're actually using that tail. So it was very interesting. And then there was a video posted over in our Facebook group by Travis on how lizards strike a balance between keeping their tails on and peeling them off. And it was very interesting. It showed the mechanics behind how their tails are attached and how they release them. They showed that when the animal was like scared or when the tail was pulled straight back, that it did not tear off. But when they pulled and the animal could then twist his body, it basically twisted to allow the tension to break, and then it could snap the tail right off. And they show some videos. It was
super cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you've ever had a coaster where it gets wet underneath your coaster on a table and it's very hard to lift it straight up off the table, but if you peel it, it'll pop off. It's the same thing as their tail, and you got to see kind of how their tails attach. That's a cool video. I suggest anybody go over and check it out, especially anybody that's ever tried to catch a gecko or a green anola and then you're left with a tail in your hand. Just trying to see what else was on here. Oh, you posted something about chickens, but I couldn't figure out what the chicken thing was. I missed out on that one.
Yeah, I don't remember what I posted.
Katie posted of a new wine club.
It was a joke, just in case anybody took it seriously. It was completely a joke. But from a marketing standpoint, this particular wine company, a male wine company, mailing in, like you, not like MALE, MAIL. When you order 100 boxes of wine, you get a free snake.
A free snake.
And I'm like, they're obviously promoting this to the wrong individuals.
And Lori signed up right away. She was their first customer.
Oh, well, I shared it because I was going to go back later and like actually look at the website and read the fine print. And our awesome friend Tracy did all of the work for me, which was brilliant. So it was pretty great. So if you look at the comments on that post, you'll actually see like which types of, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I was trying to find the list of the snakes.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
But I think it's like a Burmese python,
Yeah.
a Western Diamondback rattlesnake, or some sort of couple of cobras, spitting cobra.
I mean, but then of course the bull snake is the one that they used on the commercial and in the ad.
I love that it says underneath the pictures of the snakes, while supplies last.
Yeah, it was great. It was hilarious. It made me laugh. Our daughter this afternoon on the way home, we went to the library. She was reading a graphic novel, and I just glanced over, and in the background of the scene was a painting of green tree python. And I was like, that's green tree python. She goes, yeah, it's just in the background. It has nothing to do with the story. I'm like, yeah, but it's still cool.
So their website says, how does the program work? Step 1, shop for wine. Call and place your order of 100,000 cases of wine. 2, get snake. Expect your snake to arrive in 3 to 25 business days. And then step 3, enjoy. Congratulations. You are now the proud owner of the finest luxury wine in cans and a snake.
Like, it just made me laugh. Oh God.
Oh, that was pretty funny. Because like at first I had someone else send that to me also. Someone from school. I was like, yep, I already seen it. But that was pretty good.
I deleted the post I had up from that chicken group. Or whatever it was, it's now gone.
Oh,
The group. So that's why it's just showing the group and not the post anymore. But I'm pretty sure it was a Western rat snake that got into a chicken coop and ate a bunch of eggs and then couldn't get out.
yeah, that happens.
It was pretty funny.
There was another lizard post that I shared. It says lizards may be protecting people from Lyme disease in the southeastern United States. I read it. I kind of skimmed through the last half of it, but it was basically it was believed that the ticks down here are feeding more off of reptiles. Reptiles are bad transmitters for disease, so those ticks aren't then transmitting things to us. Whereas up north, they're feeding more off because it's colder. They're feeding more off of mammals, which are better transmitters to us, which are also mammals. And so that transmittance of Lyme disease is much easier up north than in the south. So that is what that was all about. So live in the south, don't live up north. And there was also a picture of was it eagle hawk or a snake eagle getting killed by a cobra. So it did not go well for the snake eagle. But yeah. Oh, and Katie's weird ass picture or there's the video that you were all happy about.
Watching it out with Dobby.
Of Dobby, the fucking aardvark baby.
It's absolutely the most precious thing I've ever
It is
seen.
not. It's a fucking hideous animal.
It's terrifying and cute at the same time.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
The Chester Zoo had a baby aardvark.
It looks like Dobby the house elf in human
which tells you
form.
right now it's not cute.
It's fabulous. Fabulous.
Who was it? They said they got Lyme disease. I don't know. Just his Facebook user. Will Jones said he had a male crested gecko drop his tail as soon as he introduced a female into his enclosure. Nothing touched him. He just got overexcited, made a fool of himself. And then now he has a frog ass for the rest of his life.
Yep.
Because of just some weird, cruel trick in the evolution of crested geckos. I don't fucking get it. But anything else?
Today was Steve. Would have been Steve Irwin's 60th birthday.
Steve Irwin's 60th birthday. That's true.
2/22/22.
There was lots of tie-dye at school today. It was great.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I heard there were like people at schools where they had like tutus and.
Oh yeah, you could wear tutus today. You could wear ties today because our principal always has a tie on. And then or.
No.
Oh,
we're back.
There we go.
Um,
Then Friday we're supposed to wear our Western wear for the state of Texas.
Well, it's the Houston Livestock Radio.
Yeah, it's also class picture day, and I don't own anything Western.
Yeah.
So other than blue jeans,
I didn't realize
I got
the
nothing.
New Orleans show was also Mardi Gras.
No, it's
No
not.
fucking way.
I thought it was one of the
No,
weekends.
Mardi Gras. Fat Tuesday is March 1st. It's over March.
yeah.
The weekend after Mardi Gras.
Yeah, Galveston had their Mardi Gras on the wrong part of the year.
No, Galveston's Mardi Gras was last weekend
I know.
and this upcoming weekend, which are the two big weekends for parades everywhere.
I still find it weird as fucking Texas having Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
But you were like, you have to pay to go to it.
Galveston, you buy a ticket and they let you into that particular
To
area
get
of
onto
town
the Strand.
to get onto the
But there's-
parade route.
There's parades outside of the Strand that you don't have
Yes.
to.
Okay.
My a girl I dated for a long time when I was younger, her mom worked for a law firm down there, and they would have a big party in the law firm. It's like 3-story building, and so I've been down there several times. And then when the parade would get to us, we'd all go out on the thing and catch beads and then go back into the party that this law firm had.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was born and raised in Mobile, which is where Mardi Gras originated. So I'm used there. I got the whole week off of school. And then
this was the first President's Day we've gotten off.
We were actually off for President's Day because I'm like, what is this like? Oh my gosh. Because in
You guys were
Louisiana
out yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So in Louisiana and Mobile, they take that day off and move it to the week of Mardi Gras so that you're getting one of those days off instead. And so in Louisiana, where we were, we still got the Monday, Tuesday off. So one year we got the Wednesday off, which was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is the first time in my entire life that I'm working on Fat Tuesday. And so my principal has allowed me to send notes home tomorrow with all of my children. And we're having a Mardi Gras party. It's going to be great.
Are you going to do Ash Wednesday?
I mean,
when it comes around?
I always go. Like, is that what you're asking?
Or are you going to do it before school?
Do you know what time that service is?
I know.
before
I
school?
was wondering.
Yeah, that's not
I was
happening.
just
What
wondering.
time is it? Like 4, 5?
It's like 5 a.m. I do good to get out of bed at 6:30 in the morning. He called me in the middle of class this morning.
Well, because she never texts back. I was like, hey, did you wake up? Because hello.
He was like, hello,
Hello.
you're not answering. I never heard it buzz from my text messages, but all of a sudden I hear it buzzing and it's ringing. And I'm like, oh my God, someone is like bombing my husband's school. Like I didn't know what was happening.
Whoa,
I
calm down.
immediately went worst case scenario because he was calling me in the middle of his class.
Well, and it doesn't help that Lamarck, Texas City, and Santa Fe all had bomb threats last week and had to evacuate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
I immediately
You keep coming
That was-
west.
like,
you're
I
next.
answered
that was on the day we
phone.
were off.
Oh yeah.
I answered
They
the
were off.
There were
phone.
no kids there. Yeah.
Are you okay? And like all of my kids were like, whoosh, to see what was happening. And he was like, yeah, I just want to make sure you were awake and at work. I was like, oh yeah, I'm here in the middle of class.
You guys need
Love
to
you back.
put Life 360 so you can just look and see where she's at.
I think we have it. We've just never actually used it.
Sean said he'll be in New Orleans next week.
Have fun with that. Make some friends, pass out flyers.
Oh, he had some friends don't pass out flyers.
He did the week before everything shut down.
It was before all that. It was before that.
Was it? I thought it was that year.
I thought it was before that year.
I'm pretty sure it was that year.
No, it was that year. I'm
Yeah.
100% certain because
That
that was
was-
right when I started kind of coming in the picture.
Yeah.
All
We were at ground zero before the whole state shut down.
Sean's making sure everybody has a job. He'll put anybody to work. You're gonna walk the street from me. Oh, but yeah. So we won't be in New Orleans, but we'll be at Corpus. We should be at. Are we going to Bryan College?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm staying at. I'm going to book that same hotel. I love that place. That courtyard, that vineyard courtyard.
We just have to book her. We're going to drive over Saturday.
Are you
Yeah.
Which I don't remember what hotel.
that one we stayed in when we went for New Year's? That one that's like a.
Oh yeah,
gives
that's
you the
like
free wine.
that is. Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah,
I never got my free bottle of wine.
yeah. I think you have to actually go ask for it.
Yeah. Well, she told me that she would go get it. And then I just never went back to get it.
And then we made them get up at 2 a.m. and bring us in.
It was New Year's. So
I'm looking forward to Beaumont. I'm looking forward to the Beaumont later in the year because that means that's the weekend of Weird Al.
Yeah.
I bought James Weird Al tickets.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, we should have all done it together so we could sit together.
I didn't know if y'all were going.
Oh, I'm going to Weird Al.
Oh.
We were torn between that or
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel,
Yeah, I'm going to Weird Al.
and I was like, I want to see Weird Al. I've wanted to see him.
I've seen
since
Billy
I was a kid.
Joel and Elton John together, so it would be hard to beat that.
That's awesome.
That was like 20 years ago, but
My parents went and saw the Eagles last night.
did they?
Yeah.
That's all.
They said they played all of Hotel California, the record, took a break, and then came out and played everything else.
Wow.
Vince Gill has taken the place of the dead Eagle. I can't remember the dead Eagle's name because I can only think of Joe Walsh because I love Joe Walsh. It's not Joe Walsh. He's still alive. Well,
ish.
Glenn Fry. So Vince Gill takes, and they said they don't like. They introduce Vince Gill, but they don't really talk about him. He just
I could see that because he's got the same voice.
and then Vince Gill sings
He's
it,
a
and then
super nice guy,
and then
too.
Glenn Fry's son plays the guitar.
Yeah.
His daughter was one of the campers at the camp that I worked at when I was in college.
Here's for goalie. Here's a flyer and $30 for a mouth hug.
Yikes.
Oh, I
Like-
wonder how James knows what the pricing is in New Orleans.
James, have you accounted for inflation?
Dude, you can't beat this hotel in
Don't tell everybody.
Bryan College
I was gonna
Station.
say,
$86 a
Shut
night.
your
Shush.
mouth.
Don't
It's
tell
gonna
people.
be booked.
They're gonna want to book our hotel.
Yeah, good point.
It's horrible. It's got roaches, fleas, and
Shh.
You do have to
mongoose.
park and then walk around to come in.
It's got wild mongoose.
Hush, James.
You have to
I
dodge
think they're called mongooses, sir.
dodge the mongooses.
God.
Oh,
I think we're getting delirious.
we are. I'm just looking at all the shows. Guess what show I'm not going to this year?
But
Amarillo.
it will only be worse in about 2 weeks.
I'm very
Gonna
sad I'm not
throw
going to
that out
Amarillo.
there.
So my dad asked me the other day, he's like, so since you've been down there, have you found good barbecue? And I was like, not really. I said, but unfortunately, the best barbecue I've found so far was in Amarillo. I'm not driving to
you
Amarillo
guys
for
need
barbecue.
to come to the Austin show and go with us to the place. It's and I forget the name of the town, but but it's called Styles Switch Barbecue.
Yeah.
And it is when we're in Shirts, there's one in Cibolo, right next door by where Seth lives.
Yeah.
A barbecue joint that
Because we
is.
stopped at that one place on the
So
way
good.
back from Shirts, and it was,
I was really disappointed with Luling City Market because
It
it's
was-
kind of like a Texas tradition, but
yeah, I think it just lives off of that, the way it's
Well-
set up and what it is and how old it is. But
I've been to Corkscrew in Old Town Spring, Jason Bromley. It's very good.
my dad also asked me if we found a good Mexican restaurant since we've been here. I was like, we've been to like one.
I've found a really good Tex-Mex.
I don't like
But I don't like Tex-Mex. So
we want to go to Austin. 'cause I
Well,
wanna see-
you've been to Campo Azul.
I like Campo Azul.
She hasn't.
I haven't.
Casey and
I liked that little hole in the wall in the little gas station shopping center that you took us to
Oh, that was the one up
It was
here.
like
to go to
right after we moved here,
go to whatever city.
like on off Highway 6.
on 6.
It was by like a wing stop, I think.
It's on your way to.
oh yeah, right here.
Yeah.
in Fresno. I haven't
Yeah.
been there since then.
I liked that
Yeah.
place. They had good food.
Bryan College Stations.
So Megan's left bitch says you don't like Tex-Mex. I don't like Tex-Mex. I
You
like-
want me to put this out there? I'll put this out there, Megan.
Don't do
You
it. Don't
ready?
say it. Don't say it.
Everybody listen.
They're gonna kick you out when you say this.
I don't like Whataburger
What the
either.
fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, Robert, the video that you wanted me to watch about the people in Mobile, they also did one about Texas.
Did they really?
And it's fabulous, and you need to watch it.
You know-
Talking about Heb, their cool grocery store. He's like, you mean HEB?
yeah.
And then she was like, yeah. And that bougie place with the otter. He goes, you mean Bucky's? It's a beaver. It was so
You're bullshit, Chris Eaton.
So funny. I
I-
like it.
We went to In-N-Out Burger because everybody's like, have you ever gone to
What?
In-N-Out Burger? What?
He said the 1775 barbecue does beef ribs. I'm fucking there.
Yes.
We went to In-N-Out Burger the other day and it was fucking slammed.
I hate it.
Oh,
It's not good.
I'm not a fan of it either.
It's not, man.
There's 3 burger options.
It was so
Not-
no bacon.
You know, Chris, my cousin,
busy.
Rachel's cousin, whatever he is, and then Matt, his brother-in-law, they're from California.
and they fucking love it.
They fucking love it.
It's got to be a nostalgia thing for them because it's not good.
But you know, I remember eating there in college and thinking, man, this is really
It's
good.
cheap.
Because you know they used to serve it on like a Coke flat, and it was good. But I don't know. I haven't had it.
Chris Eaton, your taste buds don't fucking work. Saying In-N-Out Burger is the best burger place in existence. Not even
So-
close.
I mean,
One
didn't
thing
we
about
take
In-N-Out-
him? Didn't we take him to like the fancy world of McDonald's after we picked him
true.
up so you could get a tray of
It
fries?
was a basket of fries.
Yes, Megan, I've been to Old Bucks numerous times.
Oh.
I've actually known the guy that owns that place,
I have not been there.
Terry, for years.
That's the one that we went to and got for Thanksgiving or whatever.
Yeah. With,
I wasn't here for that.
when I told you I'm about to spend $100 on barbecue.
That was good.
Yeah,
was good.
stuff. Well, you didn't have. That was the week that he wasn't able to get his normal choice briskets.
So, and this turned into a barbecue conversation. Just everybody listen. Jason Miller, like Jesus Christ, Jason.
No,
You're
he's
not
Jesus
allowed.
Christ.
Milleratovic
You
said
are not allowed to have this many carbs before a show
In-N-Out
ever again.
sucks. I agree. Oh, burnt ends are amazing, Megan. But the problem is, I grew up with my dad who made barbecue, and so I grew up eating his barbecue, and I love it. And you've had my dad's barbecue, Katie.
Yes.
You don't like it?
I don't know if he's in the chat.
You don't like it?
It's
I'll never make it for you
But,
again.
well, here's the thing though. He's never made like his normal barbecue.
That's true. He's
Every
never,
time he makes barbecue for me when I'm there, he's like, I want to try out this recipe, or I want to. And I'm like,
That is
no,
true.
don't try the new shit with me.
Also-
give me just regular old traditional barbecue.
Also, you haven't really been around when he had like the smoker and
No, I haven't had any of that from him.
yeah.
So, like, I'm now. Don't get me wrong. I pretty much eat anything this man puts on a plate and get hands to me.
The place
Like,
in Amarillo was the closest I've
100%.
ever had to what tasted like his. It was just it was smoked really well. It was really good.
Yeah, no. See, I always get like the let's try this new thing and let's try this flavor, and I don't know how this is gonna taste, but we're gonna try anyways. And it's always
Sean can cook too. Y'all had it at New Year's.
at New Year's.
Yeah.
Shoot, yeah.
Megan's right. Burnt ends are one of the best things ever made.
Yeah. You need to go by there and get some from William on a weekend
At Old Bucks.
at Old Bucks. It's only open on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
And
The chain place around here is not horrible. I say chain.
well, it's changed. They
It's
have 2 locations.
It's 2 locations. It's not bad.
No.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh man, that's some good barbecue.
Um.
But I also, and here's the part where I'll get kicked out of Texas. I don't like brisket. I mean, I'll eat it, but I'm a pulled pork person. I grew up on pulled pork. I love a pulled
I
pork
do like
sandwich.
pulled pork, but I can put a hurting on some brisket. And so the one person we haven't talked about is our daughter,
Ever? We've talked about it before.
who could literally
Eat a whole
like,
rack of ribs.
we were going into places and ordering her an adult half rack of ribs portion.
Nice, Sean.
Bye, Sean.
And they were looking at us like, you're fixing to order this for a 6-year-old. And I'm like, just bring it to her.
Oh, she loves
And by the
ribs.
time they would come back to check on her, it was gone.
She'll
It's
destroy
like
the
she's
whole
got
rack.
like a hollow leg or something. I don't know.
So Joe's Barbecue in Alvin, I don't know if they still do, but for years and years and years on Friday nights, they did all you could eat ribs for like $12.99.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That seems dangerous.
That seems
It's probably
so
more than that now
dangerous.
because
Prices,
prices
yeah.
are so high. But yeah, and they're pretty good. They're dry ribs, so they're not super messy. And
See, I'm a dry rub. I
me
love
too,
dry rub.
for sure.
I would much rather have a dry rub like pulled pork, and then I add my own sauce on the sandwich. I'm not a big like manwich kind of like where it's just gooey.
Yeah.
But so that was our barbecue talk for
Yeah.
and we all now know that
Reptile Barbecue Gumbo podcast.
we all know that Chris Eaton doesn't know what a good burger tastes like.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, shit, I'll take there's a lot of burgers I'll take over In-N-Out. I mean,
The sauce.
I'll
threw
take
me
Five
off.
Guys. I love Five Guys over In-N-Out.
I'm not gonna lie, the sauce threw me off. Like there were chunks of pickle in the sauce,
Not a fan of that.
and it was just I wasn't expecting that.
And if you order cheese fries, they literally throw a slice of cheese on top.
I didn't even know that was an
That wasn't even on the
option.
option.
Yeah, it's terrible. 'cause
It wasn't on the
it's-
menu.
It's like a cheap processed cheese, so it hardens back up almost instantly.
Dang.
Well, because like you go in there's 3 burgers on the menu. It's it. There's a double burger,
Regular cheeseburger and then a hamburger.
and then a
Oh,
hamburger,
yeah, they're very. That's their their thing.
and no fucking bacon.
Antoine, what's that mean?
Antoine hadn't spoken up yet, and he says, "Of course you love Five Guys."
Oh yeah, Antoine. I
Have you
do.
ever had their hot dogs?
in
Not
his
what-
mouth,
it's
right,
not-
Antoine?
It's not what he's talking about.
Oh, I don't want to know. I don't
Being
want to know.
dirty.
Never
It's-
mind.
It's
Moving on.
Antoine.
Nope. I don't want to know. Moving on.
You
Moving on.
know who wasn't at fucking Arlington?
Antoine.
Antoine Hood.
Oh, Antoine wasn't there.
But he's going to Tinley.
Fuck you, Antoine.
But
Totally forgot about
congratulations
that.
on Antoine for hitting 5,000 subscribers. Is that
Cool.
15,000 subscribers.
5,000 doesn't seem like
Yeah.
a lot. I feel like Antoine has more than that.
On his YouTube and doing his giveaway of a ultrasound. That was cool.
He already.
Yeah, he
That-
did it like
that's the
right
second. That's the second one he's giving away, isn't it?
then.
Or is it the first one? I know he
It's
gave one.
5,000. Yeah, 5,000.
5,000. I know he gave one away.
James Regola, you let me know when you're going to throw down some crawfish and I'll bring dessert. Let's go.
It was 5,000. Well, that was what was the post in I'm gonna find it. Speaking of food and speaking of crawfish in Louisiana, there was a funny one that was posted that said it was from Nathan. It said, if Adam and Eve had been Cajuns, they would have eaten the snake instead of the apple and saved us all a lot of trouble.
No.
That's
joke.
true. I can tell you right now, that state will eat anything. If it moves, they'll fucking eat it.
Yeah, that make a sauce with just about anything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Snakes don't stand a chance.
3:45 today in Dalhart, Texas, which is right where we cross the state line going to Colorado. It was 27 degrees, and in Zapata, Texas, in the Rio Grande Valley, it was 100 degrees.
I believe it.
Jeez.
This is why everybody is sick and has sinus infections.
Oh, on our local snake finding group that Megan does. Did you see where someone found a mud snake?
Oh yeah, I was the first one to comment on it.
The fuck! I want to find a mud snake.
Yeah, just found it in their yard while they were mowing.
Those are the really pretty ones with like the bright bellies, right?
Yeah, but this one was very pale on the side. Like normally, like I don't know, maybe it's just over here how they are, but like in Louisiana, they are solid black with bright red bellies. So that one had a little bit of like lighter sides. It was very pretty mud snake. I mean, that's all mud snakes are.
Yep. I thought Megan was going to unfriend me Saturday when I sent her a picture of the speckled king snake that I got.
Oh yeah. Oh, we haven't talked. Well, we talked about it on
She
the podcast.
got 3 cool snakes too.
That's true. Megan just got a Mexican Black King.
snake.
Well, she came and got a cage from me Sunday.
Did she?
Yeah. And then I told her what I paid for that snake. And then I thought she was going to get in her car and leave.
She got a Mexican Black King. She got a carpet python, and then some sort of other king snake, Desert King or something like that. California King, maybe. But you got the speckled king.
She's still bad about that too.
Yeah, all her stuff was free.
Yeah.
So I want to hear it.
That's true. But yeah, you got that speckled king snake in Arlington. That was your
Completely
Mister,
unexpected.
I'm not bringing anything home.
Well,
I brought home a lot of t-shirts.
That's true. I don't need to
Rachel
have,
did too. She had like 12 or 13.
Okay, I didn't buy that many t-shirts.
She didn't buy it. Well, like one.
That's fabulous.
Giving them to her. I was giving them to her.
we need to have Snakenstein on here because I got their shirt.
Yeah.
That was such I walked by and I'm like, you know what? If they have that shirt in his size, I'm buying it.
Chris would be a good one to have on to talk about raising feeders and stuff.
Yeah.
I've had a couple people mention we should do that because he's got a pretty good sized feeder
Oh,
operation.
we're gonna get Huff on soon. We're gonna talk about feeder insects and what he does with feeder insects. So we're gonna get Huff back on here and talk about that. That'd be very interesting, especially since I'm gonna be getting Kimberly rock monitors at some point. I'll have to feed them more.
Yeah,
insects.
because Seth Huff. Oh, excuse me, y'all. It's been a long day. I've been up since 4:30. He raises all his own bugs, and
he's got a system.
he's got systems for everything. That dude should start a consulting business to come set up your reptile room.
Really?
I mean, you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
I'm sure we'll end up
Shirts.
over there on Shirts Weekend. And Rachel came down and she's like, I'm so ashamed of my room compared to Seth's. But his, the way he gut loads everything, and, he's very specific on what he feeds them. And, he does a great job, and he produces some amazing geckos.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
I was going somewhere with that and I forgot. Oh, but yeah, we're gonna have Huff on at some point. We're gonna have we'll get some other people on. That's one reason. Again, I want to go to try to do more shows because we get to meet some of the people for short episodes, and then we can have them come on and do full episodes with us, so we can talk about the hobby and stuff like that.
It gives us a chance to see if they suck or not
That is true.
at this whole,
like talking
thing.
Some people,
whole speaking thing.
some people, it is rough.
Well, and some people are wonderful to sit down and have a conversation with, but the second you put this microphone in front of them, they're a totally different person.
Yep.
And it's funny because some people are fine with the microphone, and it's that camera that throws them off. Like if you're not recording a video, they're fine.
What's funny is I'm on episode 104 at this point, and like people talk about being nervous, like with Rachel or Heidi being nervous at the beginning of theirs. I was like, guys, you totally get used to it.
I don't feel like you have room to talk for that though, because when you were in college, you were not a fan of public speaking.
No, but I did, no problem.
However, at the zoo where we worked, you were the one zookeeper that I could pull every single time and do programs with. You would do programs with me in front of hundreds of people.
I don't get nervous if I get up and speak about stuff I know.
Well, that's what this podcast is for you.
Exactly. So any podcast should be for somebody though.
Well, that's
It's
true.
their podcast.
That's true.
You're just talking about stuff you know.
Except for me.
When you listen to a lot of reptile podcasts, when you listen to the early episodes of, and it's probably any podcast, I just listen to a lot of reptile ones. At the beginning, the first few episodes are very tight. They're probably a little more organized. They are, but a lot of times it leaves some of the organic conversations out because you're so, I got to get to this, I got to get to this, and I got to get to this. And so it's you'll see a lot of podcasts. Well, I hate when people are like, I just started listening to your podcast on episode 5. I'm like, please don't. Go to like 55. Like skip it. They get better. I promise you. There are some things I do. So we'll have a podcast meeting live for everybody. There's some things that I want to try and figure out for the podcast. Some things I would like to add. I would like to get back to some of the segments and stuff. I want to get back to our stupid people of Facebook because that's always a fun one. Like I said, I do want to do some more of these interviews at shows so we can tie that in. That's some things I want to do this year.
Well, and that's something that you enjoy the interview. But that was something you never wanted this podcast to be. It was just a sit down interview. So to be able to throw it in every now and then, I think you're still getting both things that you want.
To be able to knock out some in-person interviews, which are so much easier to do an in-person interview. It's way more laid back. You don't have to worry about technology issues, especially if you're like some of our guests from this past weekend who may have drank a little bit before they got there. It's a little more laid back. So I would like to be able to do some of those, throw those in, and then still do our weekly update stuff. But I would be very interested in what some segments that people would like to see. What are some things? I really want to get more feedback from people on things they see in the week. Because I know there are things that people see as they're going through YouTube and going through Facebook and all this, that in the moment they're like, what is this? Or they're very interested and they want to know what other people think. And they forget about it and they don't tell us. So when you see that stuff, it's so easy on the phone. Just screenshot that. And I'm going to try and make a post every week about, hey, what have you seen? Throw it on there and we'll talk about it. And it could be anything. It could be someone complaining about a feeder issue. It could be somebody complaining about cages. I see them all the time. I've gotten better about not replying to every single one I see because sometimes they make me go, "Huh, people are stupid."
Let's see. My news feed on Facebook consists of quilting stuff, consists of Lego stuff, consists of Girl Scout stuff, and then there's like a little bit of reptile stuff splashed in every now and then.
Like 60% reptiles, 20% CNC and woodworking stuff. And then barbecue, because I'm in several barbecue and foodie groups. And then just my friends.
Mine's a lot of Lego stuff lately.
But I have actually been contemplating taking a break from social media for a little while.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just, I find myself scrolling through social media and then having anxiety afterwards. Like,
yeah.
it's just,
I hear about people all the time. I just that.
You know what?
I don't know, it doesn't bother me. But I mean, if
give it up for Lent.
I am Catholic, like
silly
technically
Catholics.
I was baptized Catholic.
See, I don't ever give up stuff. I always try to find something that makes my life better. Like I try to find the positive every day.
That'd be easy.
I've been doing that for years.
42 years.
I'm just linting away over here.
Yeah.
I try to
I'm gonna make me a
say that.
I'm gonna make me a shirt that says "Gave up salads for Lent." It's gonna be Lent champion.
There you go.
God.
Oh man.
37 years and counting. Oh,
my birthday's in 3 weeks, and I'll be 42. This is an interesting post. I just shared it on our group.
What is it?
It's by the U.S. Border Patrol
of
an agent down in her last name is Zavala because Zavala's in East Texas. Anyway, somewhere in the Rio Grande Valley, picking up a big indigo snake and getting it off the road.
Because she can do that and we can't.
She can.
Oh, you can. Oh, no, I guess you can't. But I will definitely stop and get an indigo off the road.
Hell yeah.
And they can write me a fucking ticket.
Yeah. I'll pay the ticket for you.
I did see this. I want to throw this out there just because I love Drew over at the Learning Zoo. He just posted a couple hours ago. He is doing spring break tours. It says, come out to Conroe during spring break for the tour of the Learning Zoo. We'll have tortoise feedings, our petting zoo, and the chance to meet some of our star attractions like our black dragon and our 11-foot retic. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of spring break. That's March 14th, 16th, 17th, 18th. They're doing tours. Join zookeeper Drew for a 1.5 hour tour of the Learning Zoo. Meet and feed and pet our reptiles, mammals, marsupials, and amphibians. It's $15 for tickets. Tickets must be purchased in advance, so you can go ahead and book your tour. I would definitely. We've got to go up there and do that. We keep saying we're going to.
Let's do spring break.
We can do it.
I would really like to go up there. There's no way I'm going to be able to do it in the next 9 weeks.
Yeah, you'll be.
I have 4 days to get ready for a show and then a show, and I have to fill orders in there.
It's for John Feely.
Yeah.
Just throwing this out there. If you are female in the area and you have nothing to do on April 30th, you can join a bunch of other female herpers from the Houston area for a lovely brunch.
Oh, really?
At the Learning Zoo.
What if I identify as female? Can I go?
You don't get to go.
You can't tell me what.
Although technically I could take our child because she's a girl. So that leaves you out with not going to the Learning Zoo on that day.
That's some bullshit. Book a tour at the exact same time.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
No boys allowed. See, even Megan said it.
Oh, yeah, well,
we don't have a herp show that weekend either.
He-Man Woman Haters Club.
You're going to start that with Drew since he can't go to the brunch either.
He can't go to the brunch at his own zoo?
No, it's girls only.
That's fucked up. It's his own zoo.
His wife's going to handle it all.
Can't kick somebody out of their own zoo. The This person posted on Reptile Cage, what do y'all use to seal up PVC enclosures to make them watertight? Silicone.
So I have a post up in one of the local groups selling a couple rat racks I have, and the last fucking 4 words are "message me for details."
They posted the thing.
Yeah, what's the cost? I just want to comment. Read the last 4 words of the post. Man, people just wear me the fuck out lately.
Oh,
I literally had a girl ask me 100+ questions, and I'm not exaggerating. I sent her video. She's like, "How do I put the probe in? How do I do that?" And then she bought a used rack from someone on Facebook Marketplace. And I'm like, she's like, "But thank you for your help." I'm like,
You're an idiot.
You're welcome.
you're welcome. Now fuck off.
Yeah, she messaged me tonight asking something else, and I'm like, yeah. I like to help people, but it's, it's my job.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
Fucking people.
She might spend 10 grand next year. You never know, man. Oh, we got to hang out with Brent and Woody
Yeah.
from Venom Life.
Woody does all the work. Brent is Brent.
Brent does a different type of work. Brent had that guitar that he's played all over the country that he had Reptile Company stickers on. Didn't have a Lone Star Reptile Rack sticker on it.
Did you give me one? Did you have one with you?
There's not enough space. There was
Oh.
literally nowhere to put
Yeah, it was
one.
full.
And they auctioned that off. I don't remember what it went for, but it was a pretty good amount. It was like one of the first things they did. But
The auction was funny. They
Brent actually had a shirt in my size. I got a Venom Life shirt.
Cool.
They didn't expect as many people. They actually had to like stop sending people in until people left, and they let people in at the end. But at the auction,
Oh yeah.
because a ton of folks. But I always suggest if you go to Tinley, or if you go to Arlington, or if you go to, now they have it in St. Louis. They have another one. If you go to those, go to the auctions.
Yeah.
Even if you can't buy anything, it's fine. You may not be able to afford anything, but it's still fun to go hang out, watch the craziness that does happen, because you're going to watch folks spend money. Just enjoy them spending their money, and then make your donation to USARC later on.
Jason Miller-Radovich must be working in his rat room because he just posted on his, well, he could have taken the picture earlier, a whole pile of rat pinkies from Top Line Constrictors. And anybody want to guess how many? 26.
26.
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Oh, I was like,
Oh.
Okay.
It's probably more than that.
37. I haven't even seen the picture. I have no clue. 53.
I don't think it's that many.
806. All right. So now we're just rambling.
Yeah.
Next week is going to be it's going to be our part 2 of our Arlington show. I need to record a little intro to that, because we didn't really do an intro to that. It's just going to be 4 interviews. But again, it's going to be pretty good. We sat down with Brittany Gobble and talked very little snakes. We talked very little snakes with a lot of folks. But it was fun. John Feely got an auction item. He got those VivTech light bulbs and the UV meter.
Who did?
John Feely.
Cool.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. Which I played with at the table.
I'll tell you what was cool is Ryan had the UV meter under the dimmable one and was showing me how it actually turns the UV down and up. So just like the sun, it's more intense and less intense.
That's cool.
Did you see Iguana Land is officially open?
Is it?
Ty Park posted 10 hours ago, the first paying customers. It's a family. And so we are officially open to the public.
That's cool.
Yeah, that would be neat to go see.
Yeah, I'd like to go there. That's one of those places that just the amount of stuff that he has there.
Mm-hmm.
Turtles and all the lizards and everything. That'd be really cool. Oh, that's it for me. I don't have anything else. I'm trying to think if I got anything else.
Either.
I got nothing, guys.
Mm.
Again, this week, go check out the girls over on In Blue podcast. They had Brittany Gobble. Last week on Pint-Sized Reptiles, we had Chuck Poland. We talked about day geckos. And then next week, we're going to talk about glass frogs.
Cool.
So go check those out.
I'll have to listen. I haven't listened to any of them yet. I haven't listened to any podcasts lately.
Listen to the cussing monk. That was an interesting one. It's a monk. He cuss.
Your dad liked that one.
Amazing. Jeff, this is 2022, 2023 road trip.
Let's
Florida
do
herping.
it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Please, preferably during the summer.
Well, we're definitely going and doing some West Texas herping this year.
Yes. Feely can go with us to that.
Cool.
He'll have to come east for us to go west.
Yeah,
West
'cause-
Texas.
He's so far away from us in Texas. He's in a different time zone.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I
they're
didn't
in the
even know
mountain-
there were multiple time zones in Texas.
Yeah, when you pass through Fort Stockton, you go through. You go into the which is only like an hour, maybe 2 hours out of El Paso. Yeah, you're in a mountain time zone.
Yeah. So we'll have to go out there. I need to find some rattlesnakes this summer.
Yeah, because you've never actually seen like an Atrox in the wild.
Never. Nope.
Yeah, we definitely make that happen. They're everywhere.
That is my goal.
Yeah, I don't think I've been. We haven't recorded a show since I went hunting.
No, we recorded at Arlington.
Yeah, we
I said the same thing about you, Bergoli. I was like, oh, you didn't get Bergoli for day geckos?
Where do you see Bergolia?
It's up. Scroll up. You missed it. You weren't paying attention.
really not me. We could get him on for some micro gecko species for sure. All those ones that don't have common names.
James, I did actually mention you, but I had other co-hosts and they had ideas for who they wanted, and I went with that. But I did mention you. You were the first name I said when I said day geckos. And then I thought, what the fuck does Bergoli know about day geckos? And I went with what they said.
Whatever.
Still need to change the
Oh,
calendar.
I do need to change the calendar.
Reach that? Damn long arms.
Yeah. That's why when he's around and I need something out of the back of the truck, I'm like, hey, James, can you grab that?
I mean, I make him get shit for me all the time. And I'm fairly tall as far as a girl is concerned. But I make him do it all the time.
Got to change my gobble calendar.
Well, Brittany had her, Justin was selling Brittany's hognose calendar too.
Oh,
It had
cool.
some cool photos in it.
That's neat.
Brittany's so freaking talented. It's unreal.
Keep talking, guys.
Oh, I'm like,
Okay.
we're just watching you flutter and falter. And
Bergoli says, psh.
I love it. We're all,
we are.
So
How have we not
tired.
had James Bergoli on this show yet?
We did.
We
We,
have.
We did have James on. That's
we
right.
had James Bergoli on.
Dude, I can't
We talked
remember.
about
And then
Red.
and then remember when we hung
talked
up with
about
him, we
Red.
said, hey, we should never have that dude on again. He sucks.
we did
Oh,
not.
that's right.
No, we said, oh, he's horrible.
No,
No.
not James.
We said we need to have him in studio so his wife can bring us bread.
That was true. Yeah, so we don't actually give a shit about you, James, but bring us some bread and we'll pretend
I
to
didn't
like
even
you.
think about that she didn't have it at Conroe because
Yeah.
they're moving and whatnot. Until she posted the other day about she can't wait to start making bread again, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why Conroe was.
That's
weird.
right. I didn't waste an entire loaf of bread this time around,
Right.
as I always do.
Yep.
Yeah, Feely, I mean, I know you were watching, but I was changing my calendar to February, so now it's got
He wanted everybody to look at his cute butt.
some pictures of some other ball pythons.
On
That,
that note,
wait, James sucks on the what? What?
who's
Bergoli?
Mike?
Bergoli, who is Mike? Why are you sucking?
Oh, stop.
$20, $20.
All right, we
All
gotta
right,
go.
we're out. So, guys, we will be back live in 2 weeks.
And after how many episodes what episode is this?
104.
104.
If you don't know how to reach us after 104 episodes, find us on Facebook. It's
Yeah.
going to be great.
We're gonna get our giveaway. We kind of skipped on February, but
That's okay because March is reading month because March 2nd is Dr. Seuss's birthday for Read Across America Day. And I'm in the process of reaching out to several larger reptile book people and asking if they would like to donate to our podcast and grow our book collection. And all you're going to have to do is comment on a post and tell me what your favorite reptile or amphibian book is.
she just has to make that post so we can. do
It's going to be, well, that's your job, but it's going to be amazing. And you're going to get cool stuff.
that. Oh, we need to reach out. I got some other people we need to reach out to.
Okay.
All right. So that is it. We will see y'all live in 2 weeks. Thank y'all for listening.
See ya.
Good night.